Hi there, this is Linda from Let's Talk Prepping. And if the electric is down, you're not going to have water. So wait a minute, you're saying, wait, I live in a city or a town and I have city water and I've been out of electric before and I still had water. Well, that's true. You may still have it for a while, but if it's a long-term event, you won't have it because they're not going to be able to pump it. And of course, if you have your own well, you won't have water either. So what can you do? And a quick note before I go on and tell you, please like, subscribe, and comment on the video, and thank you very much. Now, if you have a family of 3, for example, 2 adults and 1 child, you're going to need a gallon of water per day per person, and that is the bare minimum. And don't forget your pets. Pets need water too. Did you know a dog needs 3 to 4 cups per 20 pounds of dog? Now there are 16 cups in a gallon, so a 40-pound dog will need about a half a gallon of water a day. So don't forget them. And if you have chickens, you're going to need water for them. And if you have a garden, you're going to need water for your garden. So that 1 gallon a day per person is a bare minimum. And it doesn't count sanitation, dishwashing, washing clothes, and cooking. And you can't store enough water for a long-term event. But with that said, first store as much as you can. I find water's hard to get now. Some of the stores are actually out of water, but buy what you can and rotate it. Look at the expiration dates. Some of them go out a couple years, which is nice. If you're putting drinking water in containers, use food-safe containers, and then look up how to purify your water with bleach or chlorine tablets, although they don't really recommend bleach too much anymore. The next thing you're going to need is a rain barrel, and you're going to have to get one for each downspout from your gutter. I would advise you to go to Craigslist, as they're very expensive from the stores, Tractor Supply, Home Depot, places like that online. But Craigslist is fairly reasonable most places. You might have to have someone with a truck help you get it. But I got 2 of them for $20 each, which I thought was very cheap. And here are pictures of 2 different ways to hook up your downspouts. And then you want to get a faucet for the bottom so you can put a bucket under it or you can hook a hose to it. So let's say you have 2 55-gallon barrels. That's enough for about 36 days for your family of 3, not counting the dog, of course. Then, of course, you're going to need rain to refill the barrels. And if there's a drought or a lack of rain, you're not going to get your barrels filled up again. But here's a rainwater calculator to tell you how much rain you can harvest from your gutters. So that's pretty neat. So an inch of rain is going to give you a lot of water. And you can hook up more than 1 barrel together. You can hook up a couple barrels to each other. That will allow you to store more water. But you will most likely need access to more water, as a gallon per day per person is not really enough. So you're going to have to find a stream, a pond, a lake, a river, some other source of water. Then the next question is, how far is it from your home? How are you going to bring 3 gallons or more a day home? When you're filling your jugs, you can use a siphon or a hand pump that might help you fill them up a little bit better than trying just to dip the jug into the pond and have it fill up. Or if you have a shallow stream, it's going to be hard to fill your jugs up. So some kind of a hand pump or a siphon would be fine. And if you need to get water, it's because the electric's out, and you won't be driving because you're not going to be able to get gas because they're not going to be able to pump the gas. So you're going to need something like a bicycle. If you get a bicycle, you're going to need a cart to hook on the back, or I guess they're called bike trailers. I looked them up on Amazon, and they have a lot of different kinds, and they're about $130 or so. If you decide to put your water in a basket on your bike, it's got to be sturdy enough to hold the water and not let the cans fall out. Plus, it has to be big enough to hold all the water you're going to be hauling. This is a video of a trike. He has built something so he could put his vegetables on it, and you could build something like that to hold water. Here's another one. This trike has a trailer on the back, and you can get this kind for bikes too. Now, if you're close enough to your water supply, you can get a pull cart or a wagon to bring it home. Again, you want the sides to be high enough so that the jugs of water don't fall out as you're bringing them home. I think you should go and map out a few sources of water and plan on how you will get the water home. And you want to watch out for places where many people will be getting the water, as there might be fights over the water. So you want to be very careful about where you're getting the water also. If it's a really long bike ride to the water source, you might want to get together with your neighbor and take turns. Of course, then you're going to need a way to carry more gallons of water if you do that. Now, whether you get your water from a stream or a pond or from your rain barrels, you're going to need a water filter. You can get a Berkey, which is a good size, and then there's the Sawyer and the Life Straw. They're small ones. But when you're looking for one, just look for a countertop water filtration system. Each one does something a little bit different, and you can look and see which ones filter out pesticides, bacteria, chemicals, algae. Most of the countertop ones are gravity fed, or if they're too expensive for you, you can just buy the filter or cartridge replacement and make your own with 2 5-gallon buckets, and there's lots of videos on YouTube on this. In this grid down scenario, water will become a precious commodity. You will need to reuse it. You can't waste water by washing dishes in the sink anymore. So buy a dish pan and then reuse the water for washing clothes or watering the garden, and you can water the garden with soapy water or flushing the toilet. The same is true for your bath water and that water you use to soak your beans. Reuse all of the water. So pick up a dishpan and some buckets to store your gray water. Another thing I think you should think about if the electric grid goes down, and it's widespread. I mean the whole country, not just local, where it's a snowstorm or a windstorm or something, and you're pretty sure the electric will be back in a day or two or even a week. Don't use your generator for convenience sake. Gas will not store that long. Even with the best additives, you're going to be lucky if you get a year out of it. And it's going to be almost impossible to store a year's worth of gas. So during the winter, if you have to travel on a road to get water and there's snow or ice, it's not going to be plowed or cleaned up. You're not going to be able to get to your water supply, even on a bicycle. So only use your generator for pumping water from your well, and this only works if you have a well, during the winter, maybe every 2 weeks or so. Just turn it on, turn your pump on, fill up all your containers for a couple of weeks, store the water. That's how you have to do it. Don't waste your generator on TV and all those kind of conveniences. Don't wait until your stored water or your rainwater runs out before you go to the water source and get water. Make sure you get enough water before everything runs out. So make your plan now. And again, please subscribe, comment, like the video, and when you comment, tell us what we can do. If you have any good ideas on how we can store water or what we might do, let us know. And thank you very much for watching.